Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1107 in Dark by CaCo Talks. Tonight, we will be exploring the musical subgenre Electro-Funk. We are sharing our take on our top 10 favorite Electro-Funk songs. So make sure you check out our Electro-Funk playlist on Spotify right now so you can listen along as we listen on this episode. We hope you enjoy. Let's get our groove on. Hey everybody, and welcome back. Welcome to our second episode of 1107 in Dark. As you heard in the intro, tonight we are discussing Electro-Funk, which is a subgenre of funk music, which Catelyn and I listened to a lot growing up, just by honestly being around our father. Yeah, we should explain a little bit of why we chose electro funk to begin with before we get into the history, like what electro funk means to us, you know?
Okay. Yeah. Well, like Courtney said, for one, this was like the genre of music that we were listening to with our sperm donor. And so, it was just really like funky and vibey. We're always listening to it, blasting it, as a matter of fact.
Yeah.
And me and Courtney, like, I would say that's probably one of our like highlights of probably going to visit him on the weekends and stuff like that, was like his music taste and stuff, and just
Yeah.
like vibing out to like good music or whatever. So yeah, that's really kind of like why we wanted to do it, is because we both really enjoy the genre, and it's almost like nostalgic for us, really.
Yeah.
As well as, even to this day, I still listen to it. I know for sure. I know Courtney still listens to it, and it's just
Mhm.
always a good time, a good fun like party type of fun,
Yeah.
like skating rate type of genre. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's good.
It's like it's definitely nostalgic. It's like, despite like going down there wasn't always the best, but it's still this nostalgia attached to it. I think because we listened so much to it when we were coming home, like when
Oh yeah.
we were on the drive back to our mom's house. So it was like
Hmm.
already good vibes because we're going back home, amen. But then we hear this music which is like groovy and funky, and it's got this electronic sound to it, which is really its own genre. So, hearing that, we were able to really, I don't know, we had like good vibes surrounding this sound, you know?
For sure. Yeah, no, definitely agree with that. That like we listened to that pretty much on the way to his house and on the way back. Well, I also listened to it in the house, but in the car, like honestly, electro-funk is one of my favorite things to listen to in the car. It's like just great to vibe to. So yeah, definitely. It was also like a sign that something good was coming too. So
Exactly. And we were listening to it as like children, like, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. So very small. Like that's kind of it. We were just learning kind of what music was and what genres. And even before we really knew what genres were, we were listening to this genre.
yeah, I had no idea listening to that it was electro-funk. I was just like, that's like the what I used to call it, the what, like the electric music that I used to listen to.
Yeah. Or just like, it was
It's
always
very
like
like electric.
his
So
music. Yeah, it was just always just his sound, his music. And we always just
yeah, for sure.
associated it with him, you know?
Hmm. Which is like complete opposite of our mom's like taste in music. So last week's episode was new, so that's really what our mom like put us on, and like we listened to like with her on car rides and in the house and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah,
a little bit of mom and dad there.
exactly. Yeah. So, just a little history of electro funk, because, like we were saying, we didn't really know what electro funk was at the time when we were listening to it. But now that we're obviously older and kind of can understand musical subgenres and all of that, I did some research on electro funk, and basically, just like neo soul, electro funk is a fusion genre. So it's fusing electronic music with early hip hop, and so some of the instruments they were using was like the 808 machine, the Roland TR 808 drum machines, that kind of thing. That's really associated with early electro funk, you know? Um,
Hmm.
and I had to even look up what an 808 machine was. And it's just like this old school, like little like drum machine, like a little pad basically, where you kind of
Hmm.
make these
Hmm.
drum beats. But people would use that machine specifically to make these types of funk beats. I mean, not funk beats, sorry, these electronic sounds. It was like
Hmm.
all created within this, machine. And there's certain
Yep.
drum um, certain drum sounds that are really associated with an 808, you know, like that heavy,
Yeah. And you can tell like an 808 from
Mhm.
like those now the synthesizers that they have. The
Yeah,
808 gives you more of like a. I think the synthesizers they like mimic more close to the actual instrument versus the 808 is legit made to be like fake.
yeah,
So it has that more like fake, like scratchy, screechy kind of noise
yeah,
in a majority of your electro-funk songs.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I think is interesting about electro-funk is because that's what creates its own sound is that like scratchiness, kind of that like early, almost almost like low. You know how lo-fi music now is like
Mm-hmm.
purposely low fidelity, you know, but or it's lower quality. This machine, obviously, this was like the technology that they had, so it's got that kind of like scratchy, like kind of I don't know, almost like basement type sound to it that I
Mm-hmm.
think is really distinct for early electro funk music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we also want to highlight that it was really influenced by early hip hop. So people were making those beats on the like 808 machines or drum machines or whatever, and then they were rapping over it.
For
So
sure. Yeah.
that was kind of it became kind of a fusion sound, an underground like fusion sound, you know?
For sure. Yeah. No, yeah. It definitely is like a combination of different like genres mixed in there. So, it has a little bit of, everything to me, a little bit of like everything really.
Yeah. And another thing I want to note before we get into the listening to the playlist is vocally what they were doing with electro funk is they were distorting their voices. So they would either like we'll hear it in like Planet Rock, like we're gonna listen to eventually. You can hear
Mm-hmm.
how distorted their voices are. They're using like vocoding and talk boxes. So it's like
Uh-huh.
these predecessors to auto tune. It's like they're distorting their voices to make it sound sort of electronic. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like whereas the way I'm thinking about it is like neo soul was like trying to return to live instrumentation, trying to do live vocals, really trying to get back to singer songwriter type. This is totally the opposite, and it's like how electronic, how man made, crafted can we make this music sound?
Yeah.
You know,
For sure. Mm-hmm.
and they're two different art forms. And I think that's really interesting to get into. You know,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This allows for more of that experimental sound that like we're playing around and we're gonna see what comes out of this using this machine or using this type of beat or using this type of synthesizer or whatever, you know?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Good.
yeah, and I think that's what makes it really that's why so much of electro funk is associated with like space and
Mm-hmm.
like kind of just like otherworldly things because it's like
Yeah, supernatural. Yeah,
supernatural kind of like beyond our planet Earth, like
for sure.
out there in the universe. I think because the sound is electronic and it has this like futuristic sort of
Yeah,
Jetson
sound
like
to it for
sound to
sure.
it with the like even the zaps and
Mm-hmm.
the like rocket sounds and stuff that we'll hear later in the songs. Um, it all sounds like alien life form, and I think they really try to play off of that. They let the sound inform kind of how they wrote the lyrics or what they made their voices sound like.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's really interesting that they just took on
Yeah.
this. They took the machines that they had. They took the lyrics, the vocals, or whatever, and made their own genre.
Genre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Which is like, back in the day, like you had genres and whatnot, different types of music were being created. Like now we do a lot of like sampling and whatnot. So it's really like innovative of them to come up with this genre and be so futuristic. I don't know if their intent was to be futuristic, but for it to be futuristic in that capacity, because I don't really think anything else is really like that. I don't think anything else during that time or even now is out like that genre.
yeah, I agree. Not at all. Like this genre to me is so experimental, and it like
Mm-hmm.
which is why another reason why I don't think it's very mainstream at all is because it was kind of like these producers were making these beats on their own, finding people who vibe with it, and then they would sing. I mean, not sing, but they would like make hip hop songs on, or make songs on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't this like mainstream sound because it was so fused with electronic music and hip hop. I think eventually the sound did make it to the mainstream through bands like the Gap Band or was another like Zapp and Roger. So I think the sound made it to mainstream eventually, but the early
Mm-hmm.
electro funk, the songs were like 8, 9, 10 minutes long because you could tell that they were just playing around with the beats and they just kept like making these almost like dance songs, stuff that you would like hear in a club kind of thing, you
Yeah.
know?
True.
So you could tell it's very like experimental, and it was like the artist, uh, it was like the artist's work in full form, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate that about electro funk as well.
For sure. For
Okay.
sure.
Well, do you want to go ahead and get into the playlist so we can,
Yep. Let's
discuss
do it.
some of these things as they relate to the songs? So our
All
very
right.
first,
So go
go
ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just
No,
gonna
you go.
bring us into our first song. So our first song we're gonna be looking at today is "Planet Rock" by Africa. I always say this wrong, but Bambata.
Yeah,
Bambata. Yeah, that's how you
this
say
is
it. Africa
considered.
Bambata.
Yeah, yeah, it's Africa Bambaataa, and the song is Planet Rock, like Caitlin was saying, and this is actually considered like classic electro funk. Like if you want to know what electro funk is, this is the song that
Yes,
everybody
it is
points you to because
for
this kind
sure.
of like even jumped off the genre back in the day. Oh, we also want to make note of the time. Keep in mind this is like late 70s, early 80s to like late
Mm-hmm.
80s. So this is it's really bookended by a decade as well. The 80s is when this was going on. And the high time was probably like early to mid 80s. So just so you guys know that this is a genre from about 30 or 40 years ago now at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But yeah, so
All
let's
right,
go ahead and get into Planet Rock. You ready to press play?
let's play.
All right, let's go. Yeah, I love that. I like that they have kind of this like intro to this song.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, kind of like brings you into it.
yeah, you can hear Africa Bambaataa like um it's like this slow intro and then there's like a big like boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's like a really good like hip hop aspect. You know, like it kind of Hard Knock Life kind of sort of. It kind of gives me like
Yeah.
that kind of. You're just like it's a hard night. Boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you can hear those synthetic drums like pretty immediately.
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I mean?
for sure. Yeah, it gives me like skating rink vibes for sure. Like this is
Oh
what
yeah.
I don't recall ever listening to it in the skating rink or like them playing it or anything, but like I feel like I can like skate to this for like hours, days.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which I didn't know this, but Africa Bambaataa, he's actually a DJ, or he was a DJ. I'm not sure if he's still alive or not, but he was a DJ before he made this song,
Oh
and
really?
in the Bronx, and so
I can
he
see
was
that.
like already really well known for being a DJ. But like it also makes sense to why he has like that broadcasty type of sound in his songs. Like when you listen to it, you can like hear him like kind of like ranting about like just
Yeah,
whatever. But he gives that vibe like okay, DJ, announcer, kind of echoey vibe, like get you hype man kind of thing.
exactly. Yeah, and like Caitlin was saying, it is sort of like aggressive. It's got like that direct vocal. And he's like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, very I don't it's like not that he's like yelling at people, but it kind of feels like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it gets like DJ vibes. Like it's not like he's not like rapping. You know what I mean? It's more like he's just like talking to you, like, "Come on, let's get hype," you know? So
Yeah, like that. Yeah. I think the lyrics in this are actually really like clever too.
for sure. Which I think it's cool that he was a DJ because, like, being a DJ, you are kind of like behind the scenes of like the music stuff and seeing what people like and when they dance to, what they vibe to. So I think that's
Yeah,
also a good aspect to have in making music because he gets a different perspective than like a music artist. A music artist doesn't necessarily get to see that, but before the fact, they see that after the fact on whether or not they made a good song or not.
exactly. Yeah. And it's got like this kind of, like we were saying before, it's got that futuristic sound to it because all of the like layers of the song, you hear this like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like the Twilight Zone, they have that like piano where it's like, like, you know what I mean? They have
Yeah,
that
that kind of feel.
That kind of feel like in the backtrack too.
For sure. Even that like little noise, it sounds like kind of like I imagine like a little laser, like you squeeze it and it's like that one of those like little game lasers, but it sounds more like alienish. It's kind of like phase in and out, but has like a little like shaker synthetic vibe to it. Very synthetic, very like alien, not alien, I hate to say alien, but like supernatural, spacey type of vibe to the song.
Yeah, and all the like zap sounds, like it makes it.
It sounds like it could be like sort of like Galaga or something.
Yeah, it feels almost like you're like how the sound effect they put in movies when a comet's going by or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
For sure.
Yeah. It's just like heavy synthetic instruments. Like heavy. The whole song is like synthetic instruments, pretty much.
1000%. I will say in this genre, the songs are really long, but they're like such a vibe you don't even like notice.
Yeah, I think because like you said, he's a DJ, so I think they intended for them to be almost like dance songs.
For sure, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and they even experiment with their voices, like when he was like zin 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 zin. You get that part yet?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I love this song.
Yeah, no, I remember like blasting this all the time. Like one thing, the funny thing is I really do not like loud noises. I hate loud noises, but like, and I don't really know why I don't like loud noises. But one thing I'm gonna blast is some Electro-Funk. Like music, I can blast 1000%. Which reminds me of growing up. We used to always blast like music like this on the way to sperm donor's house, and he would have the windows blasting, air blowing in your face, blast. I'm like blasting this.
Yeah.
Like oh my god, like you could barely sit down in your seat because like the car is like booming.
Yeah.
So yeah. But it was a vibe. So it was a vibe. Always a vibe.
My favorite lyric in this part is when he's like, socialize, get down, let your soul lead the way, shake it down, go ladies.
Yeah, no. He has some cool like lyrics in here.
Yeah. It's really just like groovy. It's just so groovy. And you can kind of hear the funk coming out of it too. Like it definitely feels influenced by funk. Like it's
for sure.
Funk's like little brother who like got an 808 machine,
Yeah, for sure.
That's how I feel about it. Yeah. Because it still tries to keep the like grooviness of a funk song, but it replaces like, like a guitar or a bass with like synthetic like music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Even like the little, I don't know if you call it the outro, but it's like he kind of like takes a little break in talking, and it just gives you like that little like spaceship type of vibe, like you're like flying through the sky. Really cool.
Yeah. Well, that was Planet Rock, y'all. That was a really good song. I hope you guys listen to that with us, because if you never heard it, it's definitely a groove. Like it quickly can become one of your top songs, I think. Like especially to get dressed to or like groove to when you need a pickup. Planet Rock's a good one.
Or like say you're getting ready to go like to a party or something like that. Like this right here is a good like get you ready. You know what I'm saying? Like it really gets you
Yeah.
in the vibe. Like you can't help but like moving to it. Like right now I'm literally dancing. So
Yeah.
like you just can't help it. It will literally get you like moving and grooving, ready for the
Mhm.
day, ready for a night out, whatever you're trying to do.
I think they could play this at clubs right now, and people would like even if they didn't know Africa Bambaataa,
Yeah.
they would like still jam to this song because
Agreed.
that's just how
Yeah,
like groovy it is, you know?
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. And even if you don't like know what they're saying or like that's not really your genre per se,
Mhm.
I feel like it's just such a groovy song that like regardless you would still be like, all right, it's all right. Let me like
You
bust a
feel
little
this,
move or two,
yeah,
you know, a little two step. So
exactly. Yeah, it's just it's a great song. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. All right, want to get to the next song on our playlist?
alrighty.
The next song is by um another band called Midnight Star, which is known for electro-funk. I think they're a little bit more mainstream though,
Yeah, I think they're
because
more well
they
known.
also have more like they have more like R&B tracks or songs as well. So
Yeah, it seems like they had like a couple albums that were more electro funk, and everything else was more like hip hop ish. Not
yeah,
as much electro funk per se, but I feel like people knew them from that, and then it was like this really like made them boom with the electro funk genre they had going on. So
exactly. I feel like they use the sound of electro-funk where like African Bambaataa is like the genre, the whole he like his whole
yeah,
music style is that. And I think they use the sound of it to kind of make them appeal more. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, they
Like,
use the genre as like a tool to add something to their music, right? So
yeah,
like not to say they jumped on the bandwagon, but like their music's more like a bandwagon thing to me. Versus
yeah,
African Bambaataa is like he was like one of the original creators of it. Like he everything about his song is definitely um electro funk. They just use elements of it.
yeah. That's what definitely what I would say about Midnight Star.
Hmm.
And
Not to say they ain't got no bops because they definitely got some bops that are
they
definitely like
definitely
electro funk. But
but they use less like they're not using as much of the synthesizers or vocoding on
yeah,
their voices. Um,
hmm
they're not using like basically voice boxes or whatever, like auto tune. They're not doing that so much. They still have more of that signature R&B
for sure.
sound
They
infused in
you can tell
there.
they just use like literally here and there. They definitely like use a synthesizer to like enhance certain things.
Mm-hmm.
Like they'll add like a little like beat or two in there with the synthesizer, but for the most part, it's pretty like hip hop based with like elements
Mm-hmm.
of that electro funk. Like you hear a little bit of that more spacey, supernatural sound here and there, or
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes they'll put like voice effects on in certain parts of the song. But
Mm-hmm.
definitely a bop though. I remember listening to this song all the
All the
time,
time, all the time.
all
Yeah,
the time,
next to like
like all the
you probably
time.
listen to this more than Planet Rock.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
One thousand
this might
percent.
be number
Midnight Star.
one that we listen to.
Oh, for sure. Midnight Star and Zapp and Rogers. That was like the go-to. One thousand
Yeah,
percent.
yeah,
Which we're gonna get to Zapp and Rogers later, but
exactly. Yeah,
Bob's for sure.
yeah. All right, you want to go ahead and press play on "No Parking on the Dance Floor"?
Let's do it.
All right.
This one's another long one, by the way, too.
Yeah. The intro is interesting because they have like they sort of set up the theme, the premise of the song. They have like a
Mm-hmm.
cop, you know. If you don't get a move on that body, I'll be forced to give you a ticket.
To give you a ticket. So watch it. It's a great song.
For the longest time, I didn't even know what that meant.
Me
When that
either.
would play, I was always like, especially when the cop would be like, "Get with it." I was like, "What?" I just thought
Right?
he was
You know, I really never understood the meaning of these songs until like recently.
exactly.
Like
Yeah,
I never like cared to listen to the lyrics. I always just like vibed out because like that's what we did as like kids. Not until recently when I was like, okay, let me listen to the lyrics, see what they talk about. They were hitting on some stuff for real. They was talking
yeah.
about something that I had no idea.
Oh yeah. This one feels even more. This is more funk based to me. You know.
Oh yeah, for sure, 1000%.
Yeah. And this one uses like I call it the Zoid sounds. Like
What?
Zoid? Like like Zoid.
Bruh. Facts. You know what it sounds like? Do you remember playing Animal Crossings at Louisa's house?
Yeah.
Remember those little like what are things? Those little Lloyd? They call them like little Lloyds, I think, or like those little like I don't know, like little tree pieces, and they like move side to side. And they like little weird noises. That's what they reminds me of.
Yeah. Yeah, like that. I call like the little sound was like like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah.
It's kind of
That's
like
a noise
almost
they
as
make.
if a robot was talking.
Facts. Yeah, no, that's true. That's accurate.
Sound. Yeah.
Okay. That's a new word. We got the Zoid sound. All right.
Zoid. That's all I could think of.
I'll be forced to give you a ticket.
Yeah.
Great song.
It's like, even though if there really was like robots and like, or like things that could, electronic like beings that could speak to us or interact with us somehow, like we don't actually know if that's how they would sound at all. It's just like what
At
people
all. I don't think they would, but
a robot would sound like, or what they
pretty
think
much
aliens would sound like.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. Yeah, and you can hear like the piano in here, kind of taking on that sound.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like they're doing like a little like synthetic like piano or something. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's probably a keyboard, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, or it could be I don't know if they use an 808 per se. That doesn't sound as 808y to me, but
yeah. And they use that vocal distortion a little bit, and they use like echoes,
like here and there.
Yeah. Like in the part where they're like no parking on the dance floor, that's a heavier vocal distortion sound moment, which I think is the chorus. Yeah, so this one they really try to they sprinkle in electro-funk. It's not totally like Africa Bambaataa, Planet Rock, where it's like all 808. They really try to sprinkle in that futuristic sound,
Yeah. But it's still like very much so like that funk or like borderline even like hip hop R&B or you know what I mean. It has a lot going on in the song, but I feel like to me because knowing that their original pieces, not original pieces, but like they're pieces that are not as much of the electro-funk vibe. This is very different from that almost.
Yeah, for sure. I just think it's so interesting about electro-funk. They tried to almost create what the sound of like a computer would be, like almost like a computer malfunction or an electronic.
For sure, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they try to like really recreate that sound, which is interesting. It's like they want to make you aware of themselves using devices in their music. They're not trying to hide it. Like a lot of songs try to hide that they're using a machine. Electro-funk's like, we're using a machine, and this is what the machine is, and this is how we're making music.
Yeah, and we want you to know it. Darn it.
Yeah, we're like, I find artists who make the method of their artwork known. I find that really interesting.
For sure.
Like people who take self-portraits and then put the camera in the photographs. It's like we're aware of the fact that this is also a photograph, that this is a construction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it like makes you aware of like the quote unquote illusion, right?
Yeah, there is no they get rid of the illusion of it,
Mm-hmm.
It's like this is man-made. This is created probably in somebody's basement. This is like a created work,
For sure.
So yeah.
And I feel like it also makes it more like fun. You know what I mean? Like it's not taken as like almost like seriously, I guess you could say, when they allow you to know that like, oh, we're just having a good time. It's all fun and games by letting you know that like this is what we're creating, even though it's fake or it's whatever.
Yeah, it's like it takes it kind of takes it off the pedestal, I think, because it's not like
like the seriousness out of it.
Yeah, it doesn't make it as like magical, mystical that this person created this work. It's like they put work into making this, and I know how they did it, and it's still great,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, you want to get on into the next song? Do It by the Barcades. This is a band I'd had no idea about. But
Yeah, no, I had no idea about the song either.
when I found this song, I was like, no, this is good. This is
Facts.
solid electro-funk. All right, you
All
ready to
right,
press
you
play
ready?
on this one? Yeah,
Yep.
let's go. This one starts out kind of like no parking to me. It's got like this little intro.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
it still
which
has,
to me this song uses
I was saying it's got that Zoid sound that I was saying.
for sure. Yeah, it definitely gives you more of like pieces of electro-funk. It's not fully electro-funk in this song to me.
Yeah. And they use that like pew sound, you know?
Yeah.
All I can think is like
Mm-hmm.
lame spacey. Like, you know, if someone, this is like pre Star Wars or like during the age of Star Wars when nobody really
Oh
had any
yeah,
concept of like what was out in the universe. All they knew was like
for sure.
you know, the Jetsons and whatever TV fictionalized. So this is like
For
the
sure.
sound I think that they would think aliens and whatever
For
life
sure.
forms are out there would be making, you know?
Mm-hmm. This, now that you say Star Wars, this is like an African American or like music genre, hip hop genre's take on like what we would envision outer space to be sounding like.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's almost like Afrofuturist. Have you ever heard of that term?
No. Mm-mm.
It's basically this term of like so much of Black culture is about, you know, looking back to the past, like things like slavery or segregation or whatever. But Afrofuturist kind of not rejects it, but it's like, what does the future look like for Black people? So
Mm-hmm.
it's interesting that in the 80s, they were kind of like, what does our musical sound look like in the future? Or how do we fuse the future with our musical sound, you know? So I think this music is
Okay.
actually kind of, it's like predecessor to what Afrofuturism kind of is. Like it can
Yeah.
get into that kind of thought process, you know? Like hip hop of the future. That's what I think about it.
For sure. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, this song is heavy on the funk too. Do It by the Barcades.
Mm-hmm.
Like I hear the guitar very clearly in this one. But then they have
Yeah.
that again, they have like the keyboard making that like making that Zoid sound I was saying over it. That's
For
all I
sure.
can
These
describe
shows.
it as. It's hard to describe what that like pew sound is, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what I also appreciate about this song is like the music is doing most of like the quote unquote talking. The
Yeah.
lyricists are pretty simple in what they're saying and how they like their flow, I guess you can say.
Yeah.
It's not like overload like rap or anything like that. It's very simple. They kind of keep the same sayings kind of going on and on and on. And then you just like vibe to the music kind of.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think the Barcades are a lot like Midnight Star, actually. Like, they probably were a funk band to begin with, and then they found electronic music, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that.
Because
I've
they were
never
like,
heard of
this
this
is
band before though.
Neither did I. Until I started doing more research on electro-funk, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then I found them, I was like, oh, this is good.
It
This
is.
song.
Oh, wow.
What?
It says, even though 4 of the group founders were killed in 1967 during a plane crash, along with Otis Redding, the Barkeems came back to reign as one of the top R&B outfits of the 70s.
Oh, snap. I didn't know that.
Right? I didn't know that either.
That's wild.
Right? I had no idea. But like I said, I've never heard of this band before, so.
Yeah. I think you got to be deep into R&B and 70s soul and funk to probably know them.
Mm-hmm. For sure. For sure.
I think the lyrics take a backseat to this song, though. Because
100%. They kind of keep it simple, though.
lyrics just do it.
Yep. That's pretty much it.
Because the song itself is nice. I mean, it's groovy, so you don't miss anything. But
yeah, but maybe that's the point. Like, so you don't miss the beat and like the funkiness to the song, right? Because the genre itself without lyrics is self-speaking, right? So if you have lyrics that are very convoluted, very complex, you have to listen to the lyrics, then you can miss the
The
sound, because
music, yeah.
the sounds are, don't be wrong, they're like very outer spacey, out, mythical, I guess you could say. But if you're
Mhm.
not listening, you could easily miss it, because they're not like overwhelming or anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this goes back to what we were saying about how experimental electro-funk is. It's like, listen to the music, the beats, what we created musically, and we'll pepper in the lyrics. The lyrics aren't the driving force. Like, now, most songs are strictly about lyrics.
For
Like,
sure.
most of the songs we listen to now, the lyrics almost supersede the music itself. Music is really just background for a lot of artists today, but it seemed like they were highlighting the music and throwing in the lyrics as a way to kind of get you to focus on the sound,
Yep.
Yeah.
Sounds
But
about
that was Do
right.
It by the Barcades. I think that was that's a good find for you to like listen to if you're starting to get into electro funk. I think that's a good one. It's
Yeah.
it's very funk, but it's
Mm-hmm.
got that electronic sound, trying to fuse it in there,
For sure. I think it's a good transition.
Yeah,
Oh, excuse me.
for sure.
A good transition if you're trying to get into the genre, because it gives you a little bit of like everything. You get a little bit of R&B, you get a little funk, you get a little hip hop, you get a little electro funk. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. The next song is Swoop, I'm Yours by the Gap Band. Or sorry, Dazz Band, not Gap Band. Dazz Band. This is another one I didn't know about, but I actually really like now, and now it's like kind of on rotation. It's called Swoop, I'm Yours. Yeah.
All right, let's play it.
I love the song titles too. They just be like one or two words and not really like.
Seriously.
Yeah, they don't really have any. It's not that they don't mean anything. They're just vague.
Yeah.
Like,
But I feel like that's like when you listen to the song, you're like, you could hear that like swoop electro sound. So it's like, all right, that's fitting.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, you ready to press play on it?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
This one definitely like takes elements of electro funk once again.
Yeah. This is close to, this band is kind of what the Barcades are. It's like the Gap Band. Like they were a 70s kind of strong funk, and then they like went into the 80s, late 70s, 80s, and they're like, let's add this electronic sound to our funk sound, and
Yeah.
the electro funk,
100%.
Yeah. Although the lyrics here, the vocalists are more present in this song, I will say.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
which they kind of say the same thing over and over and over too.
Exactly. Yeah.
I wonder if that was like just a thing to do in like that time.
Probably. I mean, they were, like we were saying, it's a carryover from funk and R&B. So I think they were like, we're gonna feature the vocalist the same way we would
that's
in another,
fair. Any other song, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that are that may have started in another genre and then like transitioned into this electro-funk genre, or just use certain things that they wanted out of the genre. You can tell their lyrics are just way more simplistic.
Exactly.
And more repetitive, I guess you could say.
Exactly. And they use like the record scratches in this as well, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, but they definitely do a lot more singing in this song.
And it feels more like R&B style singing because they're trying to really sing, or like they're not trying to just like do like a rap or a hip hop or just make statements, kind of.
Exactly.
They're really trying to sing.
Yeah, it's really like a band. Like, it's giving like Jackson 5, like a whole band doing a little like 1-2, you know what I'm saying? Like a whole dance down the line kind of thing.
And they have, I don't know if you heard the part where they're harmonizing, but like they're really trying to sing, you know?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's even like you can hear the lead guitar in there in the back too.
Mm-hmm. Definitely a bop.
Oh yeah. This definitely has made it onto my Electro-Funk playlist. When I listen to Electro-Funk now, I'm going to add this on there. This is probably a deep cut on one of their albums.
You think so?
Yeah. It's not really, I don't think it's that well known. I had to look it up.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, well, I've never even heard of the band before, so yeah, I guess
yeah,
that's fair.
Like I've heard of the Gap Band, but I never heard of Dazz Band.
Yeah, but never Dazz. Yeah. Which the Gap Band is not from that era, is it?
Yeah, the Gap Band's from like the 70s too.
Yeah, but they're not Electro-Funk though.
I think they started out as funk.
Oh, okay.
Because the Gap Band sings like "You Dropped a Bomb on Me." You've heard that song?
Yeah, you dropped a bomb on me.
Yeah, that's Gap Band.
Got it. Okay. See, I think that like that's more like hip hoppy, like popish.
You think so?
If you will. Yeah, I don't really get.
Yeah.
I guess you could. Well, that for that genre, I guess you could say funk. Like back in the day, pop wasn't really a thing.
Like funk. I would just consider the Gap Band pretty like funk R&B.
Got it. Yeah. Okay. Funk R&B. That's a good one.
Yeah. And then the Dazz Band feels like they were like right there with them. Same.
Yeah. That's true.
You know?
Yeah, that's fair. That's accurate.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get on into the next one. We have Headlines.
Headlines. Midnight Star.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good one. All right. Let's press play on it.
All right. Midnight Star know they can make some long stuff.
Seriously.
All their songs are like 7, 8, 9 minutes.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I love it when you're driving and stuff. It's good because, you know, you can keep jamming for longer periods of time. Versus now, you know, all the songs, they cap out at like 3-4 minutes.
3 minutes.
If they even get past like 3 minutes.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So this one right here is definitely Electro-Funk. Like they pretty much incorporate it from start to finish.
Yeah. And it definitely got a hip hop lyrical style to it though, which I think is interesting because you have a woman doing the hip hop, you know, vocal style. And normally at the time it would have been men doing that.
Yep.
But I think the lead singer for Midnight
was female in there, right? Yeah,
she is a woman. And she was also their lead vocalist, I believe.
I think so.
Yeah. So that's probably why she ended up doing all the vocals for this.
Yeah, no, they have so many good songs. If you guys have never listened to Midnight Star, take a moment, go look them up. They have really good songs. Like, honestly, we could have did a whole list on Midnight Star by themselves because they're just great. And we only chose a couple songs from theirs that we really are fond of. But they have really good songs. And it's definitely a vibe. Definitely like go to the skating rink, get you some swirls around the rink, a little dance session, a shower type of vibes.
Exactly, yeah. Midnight Star is great.
Seriously. We're a little biased, but
yeah. It's because we grew up listening to it. But even if I didn't grow up listening to it, I think if I found them just, you know, in life and living, I think I would enjoy this regardless. I don't think it's just because I came up with it.
Yeah, no, I definitely would. I didn't know this, but their lead singer, she helped write slow jams for Usher.
Oh, really? No, the slow jams was their song first.
Okay, so he sampled it.
So he took, slow jams is a Midnight Star song, and then
to begin with,
then Usher redid it with Monica, which that's a real good R&B track. Like whoever reproduced that did a really good job with that song.
Nice. Okay, that's fair.
Usher and Monica.
That's fair. Okay, I didn't realize it was reproduced. Now I have to listen to it because I'm like, now I got to compare. But okay.
Yeah, Midnight Star is the original. Because Midnight Star was long before Usher was even on the scene.
First of all, he wasn't even thought about, but
yeah,
I think he was like a child then.
yeah, like probably like a toddler.
Yeah,
at most.
Yeah, for sure.
Great song, good stuff.
I'm not gonna lie, Belinda did her thing on this one.
That's her name, Belinda.
Yeah, her name's Belinda Lipcombs, I guess is how you say it. Apparently, they founded the group in college in Kentucky.
Oh, that's great. If you can't get a degree, get a band. I'm just kidding.
Right?
Just kidding.
Gotta make a way out of no way.
But hey, those are good places when you find other artists who are like as interested in pursuing the art form just like you. You know?
For sure, yeah. I'm not gonna lie, like you can find a lot of like-minded individuals in college, you know?
Exactly.
That are just as focused as you, because typically most people go to college for the same reason you go, is to better themselves, get a better education, meet new people, grow as an individual, blah 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 blah. So, you know, if you can, say you want to do music and you want to go to college too, go find some like-minded people, make a band if you want, you know.
Yeah, I know college. I've met other people who are like in the film industry and stuff through college, and like that has come through a good amount of times for me. So
yeah,
it's you definitely find like-minded people or people who are interested in pursuing something further.
Yeah, no, I didn't have that experience quite. Well, not even quite. I just didn't have that experience in college. But you know, if you can go to a college where you're able to have that experience, go for it.
Yeah. I love they have breaks in here where she's not vocalizing, and it's just like the music plays out, and you can hear you just kind of pepper in that like not vocal distortion, but the synthetic sounds like the record scratches and stuff. So it's almost like beatboxing, b-boy, whatever, that like early hip hop sound. Yeah, it's kind of got that vibe to it. Like I can see somebody breakdancing to this, you know.
Oh
like
yeah,
early 80s.
Oh yeah. My favorite part is when the kid comes in. It's written in the paper.
Oh yeah.
Please don't be a troublemaker.
It's in the news. I'm over here like jamming out.
You know what? Maybe one of these days we should do like a visual for our 1107 and Dark recordings, because bruh, I'd be over here jamming.
Yeah, like over here bopping. Like
seriously, and I can't really dance, so it's just like, what are you doing, girl? But you couldn't tell me nothing.
I thought they just use so many different sounds. Like I even hear a whistle, like like the coach whistle.
Oh yeah,
where it's like, you hear that
for sure. They be using everything in these Electro-Funk songs, because I'm telling you, like everything you don't think about making into a beat or like a song or whatever, they got it. They got the whistle in here. They got the little like the record scratching. They got that little like drum, but it sounds more like synthetic going on. They even have like it sounds almost like a megaphone when they're like yelling in some parts.
Yeah,
it's a vibe.
And the keyboards like got that distorted space sound a little bit, like the beginning.
For sure.
And my favorite word, the Zoid.
Got that little Zoid or whatever.
Yeah. It's like E.T., you know? Like if something came down.
For sure.
And like the sounds they would make. That's what I imagine. That's what I'm calling the Zoid sound.
Absolutely. That's literally what it sounds like.
Yeah.
It's like on another frequency kind of thing.
Yeah, that's what I would call it. And they got that vocal distortion where it almost sounds like a robot speaking too. So one of the the person at the end singing doing another verse. Sounds like he's like a robot speaking. I think I would like start dancing anywhere they would play headlines.
For sure. For sure. They need to like play this music more often, because then I would probably attend.
Right? Seriously. This is great. And she still sings in here too. Like, it's not just vocal distortion, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's crazy. But yeah, that was Headlines. That was good. Love that song.
Definitely.
Love that.
Definitely
song.
a bop. Once again, go check out Midnight Star if you've never heard of them or you just need a refresh. Definitely bops. I'm talking songs upon songs upon songs. Great, great, great.
Mm-hmm. And they're a fusion band, so it's not just like, you know, only electro-funk. Like, it's got that R&B, regular funk sound to it as well. That's kind of
for sure
driving everything, you know?
Mm-hmm. They do.
All right, you want to get to the next one?
Okay.
All right, the next song we have is called Time by Al-Naafiysh. I think this is considered a classic as well, like a lot like Planet Rock. This is like classic.
I've never heard of it before. This is my first time hearing it.
Up too. So this will be honest reaction because I had to Google it.
Okay.
All right, you ready? Let's press play. Hang on, I got a couple of ads.
Ghetto.
It's giving real ghetto. You don't pay for premium.
Oh, this is cute.
Yeah. It's like a dance song.
For sure. Okay, now this song right here, they're definitely giving electro-funk, like authentic.
This is like almost pure electro-funk.
For sure. Even how they come in with the intro, it's like they're adding on to the beat.
Mm-hmm. And it's got that break.
Sounds very like Alien, like, you know, the arcade, like you're walking through the game.
Like 80s arcade. I don't know if you've seen Despicable Me 3, I think, but the character, the villain character who's like obsessed with the 80s.
Yeah.
I think. I forget what his name is, but this is like his music, his vibe.
I can see that. I can so see that.
Like this is
this is a vibe.
Yeah.
I love the build on effect of this song. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely, this is like reminds me of an arcade vibe for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Does this one have any like lyrics?
I don't think it has very many lyrics.
I love it. I'm here for any instrumentals. Yeah.
It's like Planet Rock in the same it's very almost like pure electro.
For sure.
Like they're not really trying to even add that funk sound to it.
Yeah.
It's like it's all synthetic. Like you can definitely hear the 808 is driving the beat.
Mm-hmm.
You can hear like the keyboard making that like, you know, those high pitched like spacey sounds.
Mm-hmm. You know, this one has a lot of like spacey, like screechy noises that are like really hitting on that outer space type of sound.
Yeah.
Definitely giving E.T. Star Wars vibes.
Yeah.
Remixed, obviously.
Exactly. Yeah. Love it. And I don't think it has any vocals, actually.
I'm here for it.
It might be just totally instrumental. It's giving very much like breakdance music, like stuff they would put on to breakdance to, and like dance battle. Put down your cardboard box. Make sure you got your Adidas pants.
I'm dead. Not a cardboard box.
That's what they did. They put a cardboard box down and started dancing on the street.
I know that is so like 70s.
No, it's 80s. I think 80s, about I like New Edition. You know how like early New Edition when they had like I feel like I've seen this, but where they had like the Adidas tracksuits and the Adidas shell toes sneakers
Dead.
with the bucket hats, just like pulling up to the
Yeah, I can
the
see
local
that
corner about a
for
dance
sure.
battle. Another group of like
For
little
sure. Yeah, no, I
boys.
can see that. Definitely 80s for sure.
Yeah, like early hip hop. I love this. This is like such a groove.
For sure. Yeah, no, this was a vibe.
It's
I actually
giving me
like that it doesn't have lyrics because it like also is. It doesn't. It's not as distracting, you know. Like you're not trying to focus on the lyrics and the beat. Like you literally just get the beat, and you really get that electro-funk vibe.
yeah. It helps you to really if you want to know what electro-funk is, listen to this song and you'll understand very clearly, pretty immediately, what that
Mm-hmm.
sound is, and you can recognize it. And it's got all the record scratches, so it's got that DJ type vibe as well. Yeah. You still there?
Yeah.
Just listening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, this is a long song, so I'm gonna end mine right here.
Okay.
But yeah, that'll definitely get you. That'll get you a good intro into time. Not time, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Electro-Funk. The name of the song is Time by Al-Naafiysh.
Good stuff.
Oh no, sorry. The song is called Al-Naafiysh in the parentheses time, and then it's Hashim, aka Doggo.
Mm-hmm.
So the artist is named Hashim. But yeah, make sure you look in our Spotify playlist because that'll have all the songs and the artists. So we're not, in case we're messing it up, it'll be more clear there for sure.
Yes. Go take a listen to it. We got some additional songs in our playlist as well that are also really good, like electro-funk vibes and or like the full genre. So yeah, just give it a listen when you can.
Yep. All right, you want to get on into another song? We got "Computer Love" by Zapp and Roger.
Okay.
This is classic. Most people know this song, so
yeah.
Even
Zapp and Roger, I think he's well known. Well, they are.
People would know "Computer Love" even if they don't really know what electro-funk is.
Mm-hmm. Computer Love is very popular, I think. Like if you know anything about like R&B during this time period, you probably know Zapp and Roger.
Exactly.
This is my song right here.
Yeah. People know "Computer Love." I think it's been used in movies too and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's like one of the go-tos along with Midnight Star. They're like the go-to people that you go to for Electro-Funk.
Yeah, absolutely. This one, the biggest thing that they use is the vocal distortion.
Mm-hmm.
Like the person,
they also have that kind of like warp sound in there. It's like kind of
that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to like mimic what they assume a computer would sound like.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Electronic signals, in a computer or whatever. But the person, whoever does the vocal, the chorus, they have a heavy vocal distortion.
For sure.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like a woman singing, but it's only two people in the group.
Yeah, so it's probably a man.
Mm-hmm. That's just obviously vocally changed.
Yeah, higher pitch. I wonder if what they do is probably like alter the pitch, because I think you can, even with like GarageBand, if you alter the pitch and stuff like that, if you play around with GarageBand, you can get these same kind of electronic sounding songs.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I actually have a keyboard, and I hook up my keyboard to my laptop to in GarageBand essentially, and you can play around with it, like put add different like synthesizers and stuff like that on the to make the keyboard's keys correlate with what's going on in GarageBand, and you can definitely achieve this sound easily.
Yeah, that's what's interesting. Is like it's almost like anybody can achieve the sound now. I don't know if it was as accessible when they were making Electro-Funk back in the day, because you probably had 808 machines when they probably came out were probably fairly expensive. But now it's like you can make an Electro-Funk song pretty easy with like GarageBand if you just distort what
For sure.
normal sounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting for sure. They do have a woman singing here at one point though.
They do. Yeah, they do. Apparently her name is Shirley Murdoch.
Oh, Shirley Murdoch? She's famous.
That's what it says. She's known for her vocals on Zapp and Roger's hit single "Computer Love."
Oh, really? Because she has her own music too.
Oh, really?
She's an R&B artist, yeah.
So she's part of Zapp, the music group Zapp, apparently. So
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
She's on more Bounce to the Outs too.
I'm pretty sure Shirley Murdoch is the one who sings "Shirley, this is Barbara," or "Barbara, this is Shirley." You know that song, like "Woman to Woman." You never heard "Woman to Woman"? Classic R&B.
No.
R&B. We'll have to do another episode.
No, I don't. Yes,
it's like
sure.
It's the thing. It's like when it's kind of a running joke. It's like in the song she basically calls up her man's mistress, and it's like, "Barbara, this is Shirley. I just wanted you to know he's mine." It's basically like "The Boy Is Mine," but from like the 70s.
No, that's by Shirley Brown, Courtney. That's a different lady.
Oh. Anyway,
but
Shirley.
They look similar. Shirley.
Yeah, Shirley.
What's up, Shirley? What's going on?
You know what? At least I recognize it was Shirley. I'll give myself
for real. At least the Shirleys went together.
I really thought it was Shirley Murdoch. Okay, you're right.
No, it's Shirley Brown, but that's close. That's close.
Close enough. Good thing we corrected that, because I would have had people looking for Shirley Murdoch.
Right? Shirley Murdoch is now an evangelist at Solid Rock Church in Monroe, Ohio, recording gospel music and appearing in gospel plays.
It's not always the path. They do like
I know. They do R&B during their youth, and then they go Christian. Beats me. They repent of all their sins. That's what it is.
In church. They started out in church, probably, more than likely.
That's true.
And then they went, found the world, as they say in church.
I'm dead.
Entered the world, you know what I mean?
They found the world. They have forsaken the Lord's.
Seriously. And then they in their older age, they're like, let me go back to church.
Let me go repent for all my sin.
That's wild.
Oh, God, that's funny.
Okay.
That's a whole other conversation for a whole other day.
Seriously. The pipeline
but honestly, that's a lot of people do that in the music industry for whatever reason. Didn't Mace do something like that too?
I think so.
He's I don't even know. He's like a preacher or something now.
Yeah. Or if they don't totally switch over, they make one gospel album.
Oh, yeah. Gotta repent, That one album.
That's the pipeline for Black musical artists is start out in the church, go to the world, come back to the church at some point. Back.
Exactly.
You gotta be over 50 to come back to the church.
And we call that full regalia.
Yes. Full circle. That's funny.
But, okay, let's get into them changes. I love Thundercat, by the way, so...
This is a new artist for me that I didn't know about until you said something.
Really? You never heard of Thundercat?
Nope, never heard it.
Oh my gosh. Thundercat. So he's more he's definitely incorporating elements of electro-funk, but he's more like funk. But he's actually a bass guitarist, and he's actually pretty well known. I'm so surprised you don't know him.
Is he from the 70s, or is this a new person?
No, he's like our generation. Let me see how old he is.
Oh, okay.
He is... But he's written for a lot of people.
Okay. Because I was like, I know I've heard this song somewhere before, and I thought somebody had sampled it.
Have. They probably have.
Yeah, I've heard it before. So this is
he's written for oh yeah, for sure. But he's been on he's worked with Erykah Badu before. He's worked with Miguel. He's worked if you work with Erykah, you're a goat to me. He worked with Snoop Dogg before. All types of people. I'm telling you, everybody. But he's a bass guitarist, so he does a lot of like producing, I guess you could say, and like bass stuff.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Nah, he's a cool dude. I like Thundercat. He also he works with Anderson .Paak. You know Anderson .Paak?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, he works with him too.
Okay, so we do have some fresh faces on here. I thought this was all old school music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Let's get into Thundercat then. This is Them Changes by Thundercat.
So he just has like elements of electro-funk more than anything. With like using like that like synthesizer type of vibe, but his is more like an 808 synthesizer to me than like the synthesizers that we have currently that they use in music. But it's more of like a funk. Oh, for sure, he probably has access to it, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I mean, they can now with like GarageBand and even simpler music, whatever machines, you can get an 808 drum. So I'm sure whatever he's producing on has 808, or something that sounds like an 808.
Yeah, which I wonder even if he because he's obviously a guitarist or a bassist. I wonder if he's actually playing it, which would be cool. That's a vibe.
Oh yeah,
like an electric bass or something like that to get it to sound like that.
Possibly, or he could distort it.
Like, oh, for sure, you can distort it in like GarageBand and stuff like that. You can also get different like strings and stuff like that that'll change the sound of your bass. You can also like put different like effects on your bass and whatnot. So you can do a lot of things, and he's been playing the bass for a very long time. So I'm sure he knows what he's doing nonetheless, whether it's real or not.
Yeah, no, it is great.
Isn't it a vibe? It's very fun and like lively.
It's sort of.
I used to play this when I worked at Little Jack's. Mm-hmm. I used to play this all the time at Little Jack's.
I didn't know this was new. I thought it was old.
Yeah, it was made in like 2000. What you say?
I was saying the cover photo.
It was like made 2000s.
Go ahead, you go.
No, it's okay. I was just saying it was made into like 2000 something.
Okay. It's because the cover photo is actually kind of evoking like the 70s. Like,
oh, for sure. It has that like effect on it.
This like older guy looks like in the water.
It has like an overlay of like the older look.
Yeah,
like it looks kind of aged.
Film look. It looks like they shot it on film. They might have shot it on film.
Probably. So I don't know.
Like the 70s.
Yeah, no, it definitely could be. If you like research Thundercat, he's very like in touch with like the older, probably like you could say like the 80s and stuff like that. But like a modern twist on it. But yeah, he's a pretty funky kind of dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wears like little cat ears and stuff.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to look him up. I don't even know. I just didn't even look up the artist. I looked up the song and listened to it, obviously. And I liked it.
I'm just biased to Thundercat, so honestly, I like him.
This is a mellow like song, though. I feel like this has heavy. This has a good influence of R&B, almost neo soul, actually.
Oh, for sure, yeah. And it's very like modern, but like you wouldn't know if you didn't know. It was made in 2017. You would not know that unless you looked it up or you knew Thundercat's like age and stuff like that.
I put on my notes here. Pretty sure the song has been sampled. Turns out this is the song. It's not even the sample.
Yep, that's not even sampled.
Yeah, because I was thinking this is some band from the the 80s, 70s, 80s, and then somebody sampled. So I think I probably heard this song before. I just didn't know who it was.
Yeah, no. I use if you're in any type of like environment where it's like having a funk music appeal or whatever, you probably heard the song because it's relatively new and pretty popular. I would say if you know Thundercat or the genre, currently, then you probably heard it before. But it definitely sounds old. You know what I mean? So you would think like, oh, that's just sampled. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's great. That's a good song. Good to add to the list so we see that some people are trying to kind of keep the genre alive. They try to use at least influences from the genre in their own music,
It does say that Thundercat sampled the song from the Isley Brothers' "Footsteps in the Dark," so it could be.
Okay, yeah, that's it. I knew. I was like, this is
that it?
somebody. I think it's the Isley Brothers. That song
Is
Footsteps in
it
the Dark.
okay?
So he sampled
I'm
it.
gonna listen to
Yeah,
the
I'm gonna
song now
listen
because
to
I
that
don't know
at some point.
in the dark.
I say
Okay.
somebody sampled something somewhere. I know I've heard this before.
Oh, for
Isley.
sure, definitely sampled.
Yeah.
Definitely sampled. Okay, Thundercat. But okay, he like sampled the beginning part, and then it's just kind of like okay,
And then the rest of it's his. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Well,
Oh, I know that song too. That's the thing. I just would have never thought because like it's literally just the intro, like the first 30 seconds max.
yeah. An iconic intro. When you hear that intro, that like
Yeah.
that like lower thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's definitely sampled.
You would recognize. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, good to know. Thundercat sampling stuff out there.
Seriously. All right. The next song we got coming up is Operator by Midnight Star, like we were saying earlier.
Great song. The
Another
intro's
one by
fire.
Intro is fire. All right, you ready to press play on this one?
Mm-mm. Yep.
Let's go.
I love how all their songs actually kind of have like a little like story behind it, like headlines about like a newspaper article and like doing operators about like it being an emergency or whatever, and like calling the police and da da da.
Yeah,
And then
they
you have
themed songs, which is interesting.
Yeah, and then No Parking on the Dance Floor is kind of like the same thing, like calling for help, calling the cops if you don't get like basically dancing on the floor.
Mm-hmm. This song starts out with that vocal distortion again.
Oh yeah,
That's me saying like operator.
This one like radiates like a good mix as well.
Mm-hmm. I think this is probably one of those songs that uses the most vocal distortion throughout.
You think so?
I think so.
I think Freakazoid does.
Okay, yeah, maybe Freakazoid. Yeah, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that's the Zoid word.
Your favorite word.
They use that word. That's actually where I thought about it. I was like, that's the sound they're going for. It's kind of indescribable, but it's all I can say. It's like space age, like alien, robot, computer, electronic sound.
Yeah, for sure. But you know, I do think it's heavier in this song as well because they definitely use it like throughout the chorus as that I don't know what you call it, that background noise when they're like the operator, that body, you know what I mean, like a little part. Also, when they're doing the other part that's a little higher pitch, and then the lower pitch part that's somewhere in the middle of that too. So they definitely like include that synthetic voice sound a lot more in the song.
Yeah. They have those random sounds, like they have the hand claps and stuff.
But it's like it sounds fake.
Yeah, exactly. I love the music video for this too. I don't know if you've ever seen it. Yeah. I love it.
Once again, bias to Midnight Star too.
The next thing we have on here is a Zapp song called "I'm Gonna Be Your Man." People know this one They know this one just as much as they know Computer Love, I think.
Oh, for sure. This one's definitely popular.
Yeah. All right, you ready to press play on it?
Let's play.
Yep.
So this one to me has hints of the electro-funk. It has like the synthesized like voice, vocals, or whatever throughout the chorus. But it gives me more like an R&B, like type of Usher, slow jam type of vibe.
Yeah. It's almost like a ballad, you know?
Yeah, it is.
It's that lyrical quality to it. Yeah.
Good stuff.
And the background vocals are most distorted in this one, I think.
But it's really just like the vocals, and they have like a little bit of like the bass line, I guess you could say, or the beat with some synthesized noises or sounds. And then other than that, that's the song.
Yeah. I think Zapp and Rogers is actually less. They're more like a true R&B band to me who uses electro-funk.
Yeah, agreed. For sure. But I ain't mad at it, you know?
I'm not mad at it. I mean, they used the sound that was becoming popular at the time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Beyonce does that too, because Beyonce started putting like trap sounds in her music.
True.
So it's a common
I mean, I
thing to
do agree that
do.
you got to mix it up every now and then, you know what I'm saying? But like, I still think you got to stick to your core. Like, one thing I will say about Beyonce is Beyonce know how to make a hit because Beyonce ultimately sticks to the core, whether she's including that stuff or not.
That's true. Well, it's like the artists keep up with the industry, so
Mm-hmm.
they even through their music they like evolve it. It's like
Yeah.
I always say this, like Aretha Franklin had eras. If you go back and listen to Aretha Franklin's music, her music from the 60s is not the same as it was from the 80s. In the 80s, she was doing some like electro-funk type stuff too, because that was more popular at the day in the time.
Yeah, that's true.
And
That's
then
very
the
true.
stuff,
That's true.
yeah. Then the stuff she was like singing in the 90s, like she released a couple songs in the 90s was like heavy R&B, because that was like
Mm-hmm.
popular at the time, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Very
you go
true.
back to the 60s and it was more like soul and like
Mm-hmm.
more that not I won't say doo wop, but like that sort of like clean cut American pop sound. She had like
Mm.
there's different eras to her music, and I think that she's an artist who really tried to shift with the times. You
Yeah, yeah,
know,
yeah. Which I mean, that's fair because no artist is going to be stagnant throughout their career. Typically, I've never
and
seen
music
it. So
changes,
yeah,
just like
music
culture, music
changes your
changes.
facts, and I think even through out the artist's lifespan, right? They have different things that change. So like what they want to talk about, what has happened in their life, different sounds they want to experiment with, and blah 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 blah. So it's
Yeah.
only fair.
Now that I'm listening to the song, I do hear a little bit of that's like drum beat.
Mm-hmm.
It's more toned down though. It's not as present as like Planet Rock, where it was like a heavy like boom. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. It's way more subtle.
Exactly. And maybe that's the big difference between electro funk that is like pure electro funk, and then the ones that's more
Mm-hmm.
R&B is that heavy synthetic like a drum beat that
Mm-hmm.
really drives the entire uh the music, you know,
Yeah.
versus the more R&B ones. It might just be more subtle drum beats, you know.
Mm-hmm. Very true.
So yeah, that was I Want to Be Your Man by Zapp and Rogers. Classic, another one, definitely made it to the list.
Good one.
It's kind
Good
of like,
one.
yeah, this is another good like R&B fusion type song,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Yeah. All right, so it looks like we made it to our final song, which is another kind of almost like a dance song, Encore by Sherilyn.
Yeah.
This is
I think
kind of
most people
like,
know this song too.
yeah, it's almost like cookout music to me. Maybe
Yeah.
it is.
Okay.
Yeah. Like people know Encore.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you ready to listen? Press play on this
Yep.
one? Let's
Let's
go.
play. Let's play. So this one is probably like the least of the electro-funks of the group, but it has like little like synthesized like um I wouldn't even say like beats. It's more like little inputs here and there. So
Yeah. Well, it has like this crescendo, like a growing sound. You know what a crescendo
mm-hmm.
is. It has like that,
Yeah.
like I don't know how to call it, but it's like a ring almost that goes like
Mm-hmm.
at the very beginning of the song.
No, this was definitely classic. It's definitely that cookout song. Everybody started doing the Let's Slide too.
Yeah, it's like auntie music.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is. With the wig on. Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Gotta have that in.
love it. It gives me like you remember Sherry on our dad's
No.
side. You don't remember Sherry?
Yes. Yes. Disheveled. Yes.
This is Sherry. This is like Sherry's
For sure.
jam at the cookout.
Oh, for sure.
Whatever,
That's
like,
true.
cigarette she was on, she was gonna drop it and come do the electric slide with this song.
For sure. Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah, this is definitely auntie music.
That's funny.
Sherry. Sherry was a real one.
Facts. She was funny. Hilarious.
She was.
That lady was going to tell you what you did or did not want to hear. Okay.
Exactly. She did not care. But yeah, this song is like, to me, the vocals are very R&B. Because
Yeah,
Sherry
for
definitely
sure.
singing. And I think she did some, like, I want to say she was in that song with Luther Vandross, This World Is Mine, This World Were Mine. I think that's her singing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But this is like her own song, a song she was like the lead on. This one's another one that has the themes tied to it, like encore.
Yeah.
The lyrics are about like seeing someone again, like see you for the encore, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, we just used to listen to this in the car rides too, actually.
Yeah, all the time. All the time.
Yeah. This and like No Parking in the Dance were like staples. And then occasionally, like, if he wanted to spice it up, he'd throw in Planet Rock.
But this is more like a chill vibe. Like, okay, we finished with the playlist. Let's play this at the end.
Yeah. For sure. Now I'm thinking about it, how was he playing these things on CDs? Must have been, because there weren't iPods or like MP3 players at the time, so it must have been burned to CDs.
Remember he used to make like little mixtapes, so maybe that's what he did.
Yeah. Must be. I was like, how in the world were we playing these things? We don't, I mean, now we just Bluetooth it, but.
Facts. Yeah. I remember making CDs. Those were great.
Throwback. I kind of like the idea of making, you know, hard media, like actually making things physical, you know? I'm not opposed to it. I used to make CDs all the time.
Yeah, seriously. I still have some at the house.
Yeah. When we were like, I don't know, probably like 10 or 12, 13, that's when CDs kind of went out. But now, but before then we were like burning hella CDs. And you can get like 1 million of them in the little thing, the like little rings, you know?
Really?
Remember, I mean, we could get a bunch of them at one time. That's why we burned so many of them.
Yeah, but were they expensive?
No, it would be like, it'd probably be like $10, $15, but you get like 50 something CDs.
Yeah, I guess. But they didn't hold that much though. That's what I was like. You might get like 20 songs on there.
Yeah, but I mean, for a 13-year-old, that was like good enough.
Facts. We only had like 5 songs to put on there anyway.
So you just be hella burning CDs, downloading from LimeWire and burning CDs.
Oh my god! Remember they like that site was illegal, honestly.
Oh, it absolutely was. Every virus you could possibly think
was on your computer after using that.
Seriously.
LimeWire. Oh my goodness. Oh god. The thing is, Ant put us on. Oof.
Seriously. And we just kept doing it. The thing is, nobody was gonna stop. They're like, yeah, put the virus on there. Who cares?
Right? As long as you have a virus, you can use LimeWire. That's how it works. But yeah, so that is our playlist for the day, guys. We thank you guys for joining us in the Electro-Funk playlist. Make sure you go check out the playlist. Well, like the official playlist, I guess you can say, on our Spotify. The link will be in the description box below. Also, tune in for the next 1107 and Dark playlist.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Like Catelyn said, Spotify. That's where we'll have the full playlist. I think there's like 20, somewhere between 20 and 30 songs probably. Electro-Funk songs that we personally handpicked, curated. So yeah, listen to that. But make sure the couple that we picked for this episode to discuss tonight, make sure you definitely listen to those so you can, see whether you agree with our opinions or not. But as always, great time listening to music, vibing out, discussing music, the artist, the genre with you all. And we look forward to the next 1107 in Dark. Bye, guys.
Bye.